It was a cold winter night. The streets of Los Angeles, which during the day bustled with millions of people, had transformed into a dark and quiet reflection of their lively self. The city lights, while reminiscent of a glittering fairy tale, also laid bare the loneliness of those trying to survive under bridges, on park benches, or in the corners of abandoned buildings. On this particular night, world-renowned actor Keanu Reeves was wandering the streets for a purpose no one could have anticipated. Keanu was dressed in the most ordinary attire to avoid being recognized. He wore an old jacket, faded jeans, scuffed boots, and a woolen beanie pulled low over his head. With fake facial hair and glasses, he was nearly unrecognizable. This was all part of his plan, to shed his identity and experience the lives of the homeless from within, stepping directly into their world. The reason behind Keanu's experiment was deeply personal. Despite his immense career success, he had always lived a humble life. Having endured a difficult childhood and a series of personal tragedies, he felt a profound connection to those struggling on the margins of society. He wanted to understand their stories and find ways to help. Near the city center, Keanu came across an older man sitting on a park bench. The man was wrapped in a worn-out blanket, holding a paper cup, waiting for it to be filled with something warm. As Keanu approached, the man gave him a wary look. "Hi," Keanu said softly. Without looking up, the man replied, "What are you doing here? Someone like you doesn't belong here." Keanu understood the skepticism in the man's voice. He slowly sat on the ground beside the bench and said, "I just want to talk. If you'd rather not, that's okay." The man hesitated before finally saying, "Name's Marcus." Slowly, Marcus began to share his story. He had once been a construction worker, but an accident on the job left him unable to work. Financial difficulties, health problems, and isolation had eventually brought him to this point. Keanu listened intently, every word leaving an indelible mark on his heart. That night, Keanu spoke with others as well. Under a nearby bridge, he met a young girl abandoned by her family. She was strumming her guitar, trying to earn a few coins from passers-by. The faint glimmer of hope in her eyes deeply moved Keanu. In another corner, he encountered a former teacher who now lived on the streets. She spoke of the challenges of the education system and the lack of social support. As Keanu listened to these stories, he gained a deeper understanding of the systemic issues that had pushed so many people to the fringes of society. By morning, Keanu returned home, carrying with him not just stories, but a renewed sense of purpose. This experience had not only opened his eyes, but also ignited in him a drive to act. As he thought about what he could do to make a difference, an idea began to take shape. Within a week, Keanu assembled a team and launched the Second Chance Foundation. This organization was designed to provide jobs, education, and temporary shelter for homeless individuals. Keanu personally made significant donations and leveraged his Hollywood connections to secure additional funding for the project. Months later, the foundation's work began to change lives. Marcus found a job at a shelter and regained a steady income. The young girl from under the bridge received a music scholarship through the foundation and performed her first concert. The former teacher was provided with resources that helped her secure a new teaching position. Even when Keanu's identity was revealed, he remained as humble as ever. In interviews, he often spoke about how this experience had taught him so much about humanity. We all face hardships, but with a little empathy and support, everything can change. Keanu Reeves proved that a single act of compassion can ripple out to transform countless lives, leaving an indelible legacy of kindness and hope.